So, Gerard, I suspect you have a good reason for pulling me away from my duties.
Your vodka can wait, my good Alexei. Come, stand here. You need to see this.
I know all about the Zerg, Gerard. We've all seen the tapes 100.
You've seen nothing. Dissecting a dead Zerg in a lab is one thing. Unleashing them on men is another. You must go into this with both eyes open. Once started, there's no going back. Are you prepared to go all the way with this, Alexei?
Yes. Yes, I am prepared to go all the way, my good Admiral.
Good. Good. I knew I could count on you.
Admiral, the colonist base will be overrun in a matter of minutes. Shall we intervene?
Take us into orbit, Mr. Malmsteen. We've seen enough.
Hello, this is Dr. J, back with some more Let's Play Starcraft. Last time we finished Enslavers Mission 2B. We're not doing Enslavers 3B. I started doing it. Within a few minutes, I realized that mission was just egregiously unenjoyable. And I probably would have been able to grind out a win eventually, but the whole point of playing games is to have fun and enjoy them, right? And so I decided I did not feel like another 2 hours of just not having fun to finish the final Enslavers mission. So I'm sorry, but we're skipping that one. It doesn't meet my quality standards. My overall review of the Enslavers campaign: the missions 1, 2A, and 2B are all pretty fun. I like them. Both variations of the final mission are pretty sketch, especially 3B. 3B just straight up sucks. And there's not really anything all that different or creative about the campaign. It's mostly just standard base building. The only real gimmick of it is it's much harder than the missions normally are, officially released missions. So that's really the only original thing it has going for it. So overall, it's not great, but hey, it did at least have 3 missions that were pretty fun, so it's not completely without redeeming qualities. So, that being the case, we are now moving on to Brood War. Just a few quick preliminary words about the Brood War expansion before we jump into it. Gameplay-wise, it introduces a couple new units to each faction, just a couple. But some of them are pretty interesting. The missions are, pretty much a standard sort of official missions we've come to expect, except, as I recall, definitely a step up in difficulty from the original campaign. Which makes sense, because if you're playing the expansion campaign, presumably you've cleared the original, so you're ready for a greater challenge. But I don't think it's harder than what we've already encountered in Enslavers. So since we got through Enslavers, except for the very final mission, I think that we won't have too much trouble getting through Brood War, hopefully. In terms of the story, it introduces some interesting new things into the StarCraft narrative, such as the United Earth Directorate, which the introduction of that and its role in disrupting everything in the Koprulu sector is pretty cool. But it also has some issues. There's some pretty spotty writing, in my opinion. And the last part of the story really just kind of falls apart. Again, this is all just my opinion, but it's my channel, so my opinion's the one you get. In brief, the problem essentially is this. So the Zerg campaign is the last campaign in the expansion, and also it's longer, as I recall, than either of the other two campaigns. So those facts combined kind of demonstrate that the Zerg, and specifically Kerrigan herself, are sort of central to the plot. And one of the issues is that I feel Kerrigan is just not as interesting a character as the writers seem to think she is. Like, she used to be a Terran, a pretty noble-hearted Terran from all indications. There's no longer any trace of that left in her at all. She's just an inhuman monster. There's never any sign of the old Kerrigan, like, struggling to try to resist the monster within or anything like that. So you could just straight up replace her with just someone who'd been a Zerg from the beginning, and it wouldn't even be any different. So from a writing perspective, that's kind of lame. And the other issue is, it's just my subjective preference that I prefer to take on the role of heroes, good guys, or at least morally ambiguous. I can do morally ambiguous or gray area, that can be fun. But I do not enjoy as much taking on the role of a faction that's just irredeemably evil. And so aiding Kerrigan in her ascension to supreme power is just not something I want to do. It's just not really an enjoyable prospect to me as a player. I would rather be fighting against her and defeating her. I'm going to start off as a Protoss. Let's go ahead and dive in. The nefarious Zerg Overmind has been destroyed, and the Protoss homeworld of Ire now lies in smoking ruin. As the executor of the remaining Protoss forces, you must now attempt to reunite your beleaguered people and save them from the ravenous Zerg who still roam mindlessly across the blackened fields of Ire. Escape from Ire. Isolate a Protoss base.
Greetings, Executor. Though we all grieve for the loss of mighty Tassadar, we must find the resolve to carry on. He sacrificed himself to destroy the Overmind, but many Zerg still rage across our ruined homeworld. Without the Conclave to lead us,
the Conclave was useless.
Of our great fleets, it seems we must
good riddance to them.
Ourselves.
Eldaris is correct, Executor. As we have both seen, the Zerg will not halt their rampage until every last one of us is dead. I suggest that we retreat to our last functional warp gate and travel to where the Zerg cannot follow us.
With all due respect, Zeratul, the Protoss do not run from their enemies. Ire is our homeworld. It is here that we shall make our stand.
Just as your Conclave did. They are dead now, Eldaris. Dead because they allowed their pride to blind their reason. Only if we learn from their mistakes can we live to avenge them. Now, Executor, I know of a place where we can find solace. It is Shakuras, the secret homeworld of my people, the Dark Templar.
Your people? We would be seen as tyrants to them. Why would they shelter us?
Have I not pledged myself to your cause? Not all beings are as unforgiving as your lamented Conclave, Eldaris.
You are right, of course. Executor, Zeratul shall find us passage to the Warp Gate. After the gate has been secured, Phoenix and the new Praetor Artanis shall lead our surviving brethren to Shakuras.
Executor, I am Artanis. Though I have only recently been appointed Praetor, you can trust that I will uphold the honor and traditions of the Templar.
Nice to meet you, buddy.
We shall see.
Hey, boys. Mind if we tag along? I figure heading anywhere has got to be better than staying here with the Zerg.
Commander Reno, as ever, your assistance is appreciated. We would be honored if you joined us.
Alright, cool. I like the new Artanis portrait. I seem to remember, if my memory is accurate, that he looked really bug-eyed in the original rendering, and it was just real weird looking. This Artanis is preferable. I'm just going to mention one more time, new Raynor Portrait still sucks compared to the original, but Raynor's still awesome. Let's go. Dark Templar sound like they're probably... Nice little bit of atmosphere building there. I like that. Immediately sets the mood. The Dark Templar seem like they'll be cooler than that crappy Conclave was, so... I'm all on board with this plan.
We should destroy these Nidus canals so as to stem the flow of Zerg reinforcements through them. Your orders, Templar.
Oh. Okay, yeah, let's... There we go.
Your orders, Templar. You address me.
Man, Ire is screwed.
Your orders, Templar.
Well done to you, Conclave. Massively failed in your duty to protect the Protoss homeworld because you were too busy persecuting your own people. Idiots. It's nice starting out with a pre-deployed mission and not jumping straight into yet another base building mission. I always do like that variety. It's pretty straightforward so far. The one gimmick is target the Nidus canals first, so you don't have to deal with too many reinforcements. Oh. Alright, let's go. Whoa, that is a hell of a fight going on. That's pretty awesome. It is some really good just setting of the stage and building of atmosphere. Kind of showing how Ire is just utterly overrun by the Zerg. Alright, I think we gained as many new guys as we lost, so that went okay.
You address me. Make use of me. I long for combat. Make use of me.
Alright, you know what? You get a buddy Zera tool. More reinforcements.
You address me.
Oh. Yeah, even with the Overmind and the Cerebrits dead, the remaining Zerg just rampage. So, it's not necessarily as helpful as you might hope. Oh boy, that's an Ultralisk. Multiple Ultralisks. Whew, alright. We're fighting our way through the devastation. And the endless swarms. Get out of here, you stupid overlords. Let us aid our brethren in battle.
It is good to see more of our brethren on the battlefield. You ain't restless.
Would be even better to see them off the battlefield.
You ain't restless.
May we all live to see better times.
You ain't restless.
Aha! Now these are some serious reinforcements.
This is all that remains of our forces in this province. We have found the location of the warp gate, but there is a sizable Zerg force blocking the way.
Aha! Alright. So we just have to fight our way through, huh? I'm tempted to just turn these guys into an Archon rather than mess with the caster powers. But all they have is Psionic Storm. They don't actually have the Hallucination, which in my opinion is the better power, so I am going to Archon them. I'm just not good at using Psionic Storm without hitting my own troops, so... Alright, well, let's go, go, go! We're definitely taking casualties. But we are carving our way through them. You know what occurs to me? Given that the Protoss really clearly had a major problem with the Dark Templars, to the point of having exiled them and all that. Realistically, they probably at one time had a good reason for having done that. I seem to vaguely recall that that history is actually explained in the lore, but I don't remember what it is. But it wouldn't surprise me if the Dark Templar had actually done something not so great in the past. Rarely are things as one-sided as they may seem. Whatever the past might be, it seems pretty darn clear that in the here and now, the Conclave were very much in the wrong.
Your orders, Templar.
Oh, well, that was easy if we're there.
Your orders, Templar.
I mean, we have tons of guys left.
Executor, I have located the warp gate. We must hurry and evacuate the colonized survivors before the Zerg return.
Whoa. Alright, so our objective was bring Zeratul specifically to the warp gate. Alright.
Just worry about getting your forces engaged. Phoenix and I will hang back and protect our flank until everyone is through.
Alright. Mission successful, right? Yes. Pretty cool sort of in-game cutscene there at the end with the massive Zerg force showing up, too. Alright, well, that was a nice, fun introduction to Brood War. Very atmospheric, really set the stage. Some nice little set pieces. Pretty easy. A very gentle introduction. We carved through that without any difficulty. And that was pretty short, so let's go ahead and move on to Mission 2. See if we can do 2 missions in one video as we usually do when we kick off a new campaign. Dunes of Shakuris, Protoss base camp on the planet Shakuris.
Entaro Tassadar, Executor. The survivors from Ire have made it safely through the gate. Yet, amidst the chaos of our retreat, we lost contact with Phoenix and Raynor. I fear that they may have been overrun by the Zerg.
Fear not, Artanis. Phoenix is as stalwart a warrior as I have ever known, and the Terran Raynor has proven himself to be highly resourceful in the past. I for one believe that they made it here safely, but while we wait for word from them, we must reconnoiter the surrounding area and find a suitable location for a more permanent settlement. Once we're situated, we can begin to search for the Dark Templar.
Oh, okay. Well, that's pretty short and sweet. Establish a base and find the Dark Templar. Oh yeah, that was another thing that Brood War added to the game. Some new tile sets, at least 3. There's this one, the sort of Twilight world of Shakuris. Very cool, I like it. And there's also a new desert and a new Arctic, or not Arctic, but snow tile set. All welcome additions. The snow tile set, I think, is for the planet Braxis, and the desert tile set is for Korhal.
Executor, there are Zerg on Shakuris. They must have taken control of the warp gate on Ire.
So have we literally drawn Zerg onto the homeworld of the Dark Templar so that they can also get screwed by the Zerg? Just like the homeworld of the Light Templar or whatever it was. Because if so, that was a pretty big screw up on our part. Just saying. We kind of messed up. We done goofed. Honestly, when you think about it, the Protoss, for supposedly being this super enlightened, super advanced race, they make a lot of really serious mistakes through the course of the story. Like, catastrophically bad mistakes. Alright, we're going to need pylons, of course. And this looks to me like a major entrance into our base, so... Alright, we'll secure this entrance. We're going to be vulnerable to air attacks. But, you know, we can only do so much at a time. Hopefully the things we've learned from playing through most of the Enslavers campaign will prepare us for whatever greater challenge we find here in Brood War. Might as well pre-mine some minerals while we wait for the Nexus to warp in. Damn it. That sucks. Oh good. It was a cutscene, and the Dark Templar have appeared to help us. I don't want to lose all my probes. That would really suck.
Glad I am to see that you've returned home after these many decades. But the strange guests that have followed you here seem ill-tempered.
Well met, my brother. Indeed, these creatures known as the Zerg have no regard for the sanctity of life. Once we have secured this area, I shall tell you everything I know about them in council.
I'm sure the matriarch will be eager to hear your tale as well.
Executor, we have received a transmission from Raynor and Phoenix.
Oh good.
They are still alive and are fighting to retake the warp gate on Ire. We must secure the gate on this side without delay.
And now we have to wipe out all enemies. Became a standard mission. Build up a base, destroy all enemy forces. Yeah, it's like, oh, hey brother, sorry for luring the greatest threat to the entire universe here to our homeworld. My bad. I don't think we are acknowledging the severity of what we have done here. This was a major screw-up, to put it mildly. Alright, so we're going to focus on defenses before we start on the Vespene. Oh geez, we can't... What is it that I couldn't build on? Oh, there's Dark Templars standing here. I couldn't see them because they're so stealthy. Alright, in order to get photon cannons, we're going to need a forge. Alright, we've got 6, 7 counting this guy. Let's warp in some more probes. Oops. You're too stealthy, man. You'll have to forgive my critiques of the storyline and characterization and so forth when I have critiques. I'm a published novelist, so I feel fairly qualified to discuss things like story and characters, and I don't know, I just think it's kind of interesting and fun analyzing those sorts of things, even though sometimes it might be overthinking. Okay, just 4 Zerglings, hardly a threat. Alright. We'll go with 3 for now. I don't know if the enemy is going to attack us from this side. They might do. And because of that possibility, it probably won't hurt to put some cannons over here. Alright, let's get that Vespene harvesting going. Alright, and summon a few more cannons over here. One more, and then we'll start building our production structures and climbing the tech tree. Alright, you have been nominated as a scout. Can we get by with just a ground force, or are we going to need an air force? I do not remember these things.
So be it. Very well. For iron.
Oh, well, we can get to this enemy base without needing an air force.
Very well. For iron. So be it. For iron. Very well. For iron.
Alright, well, it seems like we're going to be able to at least stick with the ground force for now. So, warp in a gateway. Alright, we'll need that before we can get the cybernetics core. Well, let's start warping in 2 gateways. And some more pylons. Because we know we'll need them. Zerg are not wasting any time infesting Shakuras.
So be it.
You know, when you see just what the Zerg are capable of, you kind of understand why the standing order to Tassadar was just nuke everything. Terrans be damned. Like, it's harsh, but man, considering the alternative, can see why the Conclave gave such an order. This is... Zerg are very much a nuke it from orbit, it's the only way to be sure kind of level threat. There's an expansion point, should we end up needing it. Alright, let's start researching the singularity charge. And what other tech structures might we want? Oh, we seem to have access to basically everything from the very beginning. I'm gonna hold off on the other stuff, though, at least initially. Well, I might at least want the Templar Archive, for which I'll need the Citadel of Adun.
Very well.
Now, this is dangerous, because if an Overlord or happens by, or we come upon a spore colony, our scout here could get killed. Oh, get out. Run. Alright, you know what? You've done a good enough job. Return to base. We've at least found the outlines of some of the enemy bases here.
There's no sign of Phoenix or Reinhardt. They must still be on Ire.
Ah, okay, I found the warp gate, apparently. Well, we'll definitely have to secure this side either way. You know, why did we not secure this side of the warp gate immediately upon coming here? That seems like it would have been a smart thing to do. That was one disorganized retreat, it must be said. Might want another forge for the faster upgrading. Why not? Even though it's an early mission, I remember Brood War is tougher than the original campaign, so let's go all out. Let's act like we're playing Enslavers here. And not mess about.
My life for ire.
We can now make Dark Templar, which is awesome. Being permanently cloaked Dark Templar are pretty incredible. That doesn't mean I'm going to make a huge number of them, though. Because the enemy will have detectors everywhere, I'm sure. And since their primary value is the fact that they are cloaked, and the fact that there will probably be spore colonies and overlords absolutely everywhere. Although, I haven't really seen much of that yet, have I?
Yes.
You know, as an experiment, I could see if I can wreck some stuff with them.
My life for ire.
Let's test my theory. Does the enemy have too many detectors for these guys to be useful? The first thing I'll do is destroy this so they can't turn it into a spore colony. Okay, they see us. There must... Yep, they brought an overlord in, as I expected. They're not just going to sit back and let me do that. I might want an observer if there's all those burrowed Zerg. Then again, I don't know that it really matters. They have to unburrow in order to do anything, at least until they get Lurkers, which is one of the new Zerg units in the Brood War expansion. But I don't think they have those yet, so... They've hardly attacked us so far, so this hasn't been anywhere near on the level of any of the Enslavers missions. Not that I would expect Mission 2 to kick it up like that.
My life for ire.
I think we'll be able to launch an attack soonish. By the way, what game speed am I playing at? Okay, good. The speed I want to be. Just wanted to check. A new critter. The Kakaru. It's basically a pterodactyl as far as I can tell. Hey, I lost a zealot. Get out of here, you. Oh yeah, at the Citadel of Adun I can research the faster zealot move speed, and I probably should do that.
Upgrade complete.
Excellent.
You require more Vespine gas.
Drat. So this is another situation where Vespine's the limiting factor. Which means more zealots. The enemy doesn't seem to have much of an air force anyway, so zealots should be pretty effective.
My life for ire.
We may in fact need to expand to complete the mission, I'm not sure. I'm going to attack pretty soon here. I'm not expecting massive resistance. But we'll see. Maybe they'll surprise me and I'll get wrecked. Almost 2 full control groups as soon as these 2 guys finish warping in. Alright. Let's go. Don't block the bridge, guys. Sunken colonies everywhere. I like how they're smart enough to prioritize good targets. Alright, we've liberated another expansion point. That's what we did there. You know what? Maybe I'll just preemptively peel off a probe and send him down to start securing the area. Once the creep subsides, we'll put down some pylons and photon cannons, and then we'll set up a new nexus. Okay, I'd say that we have secured at least the immediate area around the gate. Pausing a moment to reinforce my attackers a bit and start properly securing this expansion point.
Upgrade complete.
Alright, go for maximum shields.
My life for ire. My life for ire.
Alright, you know what? Let's move on. Or maybe I'll at least wait to get to 400. Well, actually, okay. Like, here's what we're going to do. We're going to summon the assimilator. Then I'll wait for 400 and summon the Nexus.
Your warriors have engaged the enemy.
Creep takes quite a while to reseed, doesn't it? Whoa, okay, come on guys. Respond in force. Oh wow, okay. So I was right, they're gonna hit this position. And they do have something of an air force. How has the creep not subsided more? This is taking forever. It's ridiculous. Okay, so they do have mutalisks after all. So we'll want more anti-air, I reckon. Come on, this is taking forever. Okay, there we go. Actually, hang on. If you mine that before the Nexus is finished summoning, you'll bring it back to this Nexus. That's the biggest problem with this attack force, is because I was so low on Vespene, I went really, really heavy on Zealots, and they are not anti-air. So if we encounter a bunch of Guardians or Mutalisks, we're going to have some issues. We're continuing to pretty much carve a swath through them. Alright, that mineral node at my original base is just about exhausted, so rather than spend a fortune on a bunch of new probes, let's just move the old ones. Save time and money. Come on, that's my anti-air. Leave it alone. I don't have a whole lot of it. Don't get distracted, guys. Deal with the threats. Now pull back to the anti-air. Everyone gather. Gather, gather, gather. Alright, now continue pressing forward.
Your warriors have engaged the enemy.
Okay, now
Upgrade complete.
continue building. Looks like we've just about cleared the map, I think. Still pretty gentle this early in the campaign, but I remember it gets way harder than this. Now kill their drones.
Executor, my crew and I will remain here on Ire and shut the gate down on this side. It's the only way to make sure that the Zerg won't send more reinforcements to Shakuras.
Raynor understands.
You will be hopelessly outnumbered. And once the gate is shut down, there will be no one to save you should you be overrun.
Yeah, well, I'm a man of action. What can I say?
Raynor is the smart one here.
Raider as well, Executor. My duty is to hire after all.
Farewell then, brave warriors. We will send through all the troops we can spare.
Thanks. You kids just remember to play nice from now on, okay? Wish us luck.
Raynor and Phoenix are not only the smart ones, but also ridiculously brave to take that course of action, continuing to prove that they're two of the best characters in the game. Alright, that is the first 2 missions of StarCraft Brood War concluded. Campaign gets off to a really solid start. That was a pair of pretty fun missions. And the story is definitely taking some pretty cool turns at this point. Next up is going to be Brood War Protoss Mission 3. Hopefully you'll join me for that, and I'll see you then.